It's the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast. After a rather matter-of-fact Yankee victory that will send them to the series that we all wanted to see. All right, the Yankees will go there a little in disarray because they won't have a lot of rest. They won't have their pitching set up the right way, but it sure beats the alternative, which would have been going home to a team that obviously they were supposed to beat in the Cleveland Indians. Let's say the Cleveland Guardians, excuse me. I would just say Cleveland. The bottom line is this. Cleveland made it 5 games. They had a wonderful September, a wonderful first round of the playoffs. They were gutty in this series. The Yankees had a lot more pop, and it makes a difference in these games. And today they got a lot better pitching because their starting pitcher was good, and Cleveland's starting pitcher couldn't get out of the first inning. Right there, boom, boom, boom. When you open the game and you were going to put guys on in front of either Judge or Stanton, you are asking for it. When you're trying to find the plate and you have no control, that's when you are very susceptible to putting one where you don't want to. He clearly didn't have any control. He walks Torres, who doesn't want to walk. He hits Rizzo, who wants to get hit and does get hit. And Rizzo had a good series. And then he made a mistake to Stanton, and it's 3-0. Judge hits a home run, which kind of took the pressure off him for the rest of the series. I mean, Judge had a rough series other than the 2 home runs. He struck out a lot, but who cares? They still won, and that's all that matters. Cortez was very good. I actually thought, I know it was 3 days rest, but I actually thought he pulled Cortez too early. It backfired, though, because he went to Loaizaga, and it really didn't backfire, but it could have, is my point. In the 6th inning, he goes to Loaizaga. I would have kept Cortez in the game because he had an easy 4th and 5th. Francona made a mistake. I don't know what he was doing. He was too busy to review that play in the 4th inning with Jimenez, who clearly beat the play to first base. I don't know why they didn't review it. Well, maybe we'll find out after the game. But in the 6th inning, Rosario singles, Ramirez singles, and after the ground out, it's 2nd and 3rd, and Naylor hits a P. I mean, an absolute rocket, but right at Cabrera, who is a very shaky shortstop. I'm not on board with that move at all because he was very shaky at shortstop himself today. And instead of that being a 2-run single and get them right back in the game, it was an atom ball right at the shortstop, and then they struck out the next batter, and that was it. The only other threat in the game was when Ramirez came up with the bases loaded. He needed to hit one out of the park there. He hit a loud foul and then hit a sac fly, and that's one of the rare times you see a guy furious that he hits a sac fly to center field because he knew he had to do more. He had to hit a double up the gap. He had to hit a home run. He had to clear the bases there, and he didn't do it because they need him to produce the power. And the Guardians just didn't have any power. They don't have any power other than Ramirez. They don't hit a lot of home runs. Naylor can hit the ball out of the park, too, as we saw. I mean, I got so sick of that who's your baby stuff. I mean, to me, that stuff gets so overplayed in these series. Who cares? You know, I mean, that to me becomes so, get it away from me. I can't stand it. Because who cares? I mean, really, who cares? I mean, that's just, if you're 12 years old, you care about that stuff. I mean, if you're an adult, you don't care about that stuff. Who cares if he goes around the bases and he does something? Cabrera went around the bases and it was okay. If Naylor goes around the bases, then everything's wrong with the world. I mean, who cares about that nonsense? I mean, really. But the Yankees won because they are the better team. They're the deeper team. They had better starting pitching today, and they had power. And that's why they move on. And we all wanted this series. Now, this is going to be a very tough series. The Yankees starting pitching is not set up the way you want it to be. They're going to see Verlander tomorrow. Number 2, this pen, and that includes, Peralta, who was, the new Sparky Lyle in this series. they are going to struggle trying to get outs against the Astros when they are trying to close games. They are going to struggle mightily trying to get outs. The only chance they have is if Holmes gets hot. If Holmes doesn't get hot, they don't have anybody who's going to get a big out of that team. I really don't believe that. So, but hey, you're here. You're going to be an underdog. You're here. You take your best shot. Are the Astros better and more complete? Yes. Do the Yankees have a chance? Yes, of course they have a chance. The Yankees have a lot of talent. They have a lot of players. Of course they have a chance. If they play really well, if they hit the ball out of the ballpark, if they get good starting pitching, they can win the series. Not going to be easy. They're playing against a great team. A great team, a consistent team, a team that knows how to win, a team that doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. That's what they're playing against in the next round. Starting tomorrow in Houston. So it was let's be honest. After the dramatic Cleveland win in Game 3, Cole turned the series around with the big Game 4 win, and then the extra day off helped the Yankees because they had a starting pitcher. He couldn't go to Bieber, or he didn't want to go to Bieber. He goes to his fourth starter. Zavalli does terrible. He imploded right from the start. You could have said start a bullpen by committee game, start Stephan and go from there. That's fine. You can always second guess when it doesn't work out. But he did what he thought was right. He guided this team this far. They're a team that has a lot of issues because they don't have a good lineup. They got some automatic outs in the bottom of their lineup. I mean, that Straw, how does he stay in the lineup? The guy can't hit at all. I know he's a good fielder. He can't even hit a lick. I mean, how he stays in the lineup, I just have no idea. I mean, you need more pop than that out of your center fielder. I mean, that's all there is to it. And, hey, they had a wonderful season. That's how it'll be regarded. And the Yankees did what they had to do. Not lose to Cleveland and move on and play in the ALCS and try to see if they can get to the World Series for the first time in a very long time. It's been a long time between trips to the World Series, way too long for the Yankees. And this Houston team has stood in their way time after time after time. They've been an incredible nemesis. These teams despise each other. I mean, we talk about teams not liking each other. These teams, these ownership groups, these front offices, they really don't like each other. This is pure, unmitigated hatred. This is real. This isn't some manufactured nonsense. This is real. When somebody gets hit in this series, you mean it. When somebody does something nasty in this series, you mean it. This series, there is bad blood. I mean, you don't have to manufacture it. These teams hate each other. And it's going to be emotional. There's no question. But, hey, it is not going to be easy. This team is loaded. I mean, they have wonderful, wonderful players. They have everything you could want in a team. You know that. I mean, they've been incredibly consistent. They know how to win. There's nothing they can't do. I mean, they're just a terrific baseball team in every sense of the word. You can't pay them. You really can't pay them enough compliments. You know, when you have guys like Altuve, who did nothing in the last series, nothing. I don't think he had a hit in the series. I think in the last game he went 0 for 8. Alvarez, who is just, the modern-day Willie McCovey, Bregman, Tucker, Gurriel, down the line. I mean, they're loaded. They're loaded in the pen. We know what guys like McCullers can do, and go down the line. I mean, they are loaded, this team. And they're winning players that know how to win. They're confident. They're good under pressure. They do everything, and it starts right from the get-go with Verlander tomorrow. Tyone against Verlander, game one. Hey, you take your best shot. Verlander got rocked his last start. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's off his game. Who knows? We'll see what happens as it starts in Houston tomorrow. The Yankees will go there. They'll be a tired team in game one. Hey, maybe that's what they need. Go there and play fast and loose. The bottom line is, you know what? We're hoping for a long, good series. And if the Yankees put their best foot forward and do everything right, they can find a way. But the bullpen is going to be the enormous vulnerability for this team. It is not built on quality. It does not have real depth. It is going to get taxed, and it is going to be really put in a tough spot in this series. It is going to have to overcome a lot. Today, you know what? The Yankees treated it like a matter-of-fact win. When you jump out in front and you hit a 3-run homer in the first and you hit a homer in the second and you're up 5-1, it's, before you blink, hey, then you just click it off the outs. You go about your business. And that's how the game was today. When Ramirez didn't wreck it in the third, when Naylor hit the ball right at Cabrera in the sixth, that was it. That was game, set, match. That was it. That was start getting the plane ready for Houston, where they will be tomorrow night. So a good Game 5 performance from Cortez. A big 3-run homer from Stanton, who, let's be honest, has hit a lot of home runs in recent playoff games. He has hit a lot of home runs in recent postseason games. And when you go in there and you hit a big home run in the first inning, you get your team out of the box. But today the Yankees didn't just do that, score in the first and just do nothing after that. Today they added on the Judge homer in the second, the Rizzo base hit after the walk and the steal by Torres. Torres got a couple of walks. I think he got walked. I don't ever think Torres is working walks. I think he gets walks. I think that's what happens. He wants to swing the bat. But I don't think Judge should bat leadoff. I've always felt that. I don't think that's a good spot for him. So if it has to be Torres to lead off right now, so be it. That's all there is to it. So be it. Because he can steal a base, and if he's willing to look at more pitches than he normally does, well, then he's filling the role a little better, and you move on from there. I thought Rizzo had a very good series. I thought Beta, obviously, with his home runs, he didn't have a great series in the field, but I thought he had a good series. I would let the shortstop out of jail. He was a shortstop all year. I would put him back at shortstop. That's what I would do. We'll see if they do that starting tomorrow night. And right off the bat, you don't get any rest for the weary. You go right into the next series and you're ready for Verlander tomorrow night, and that's where it will happen. So the Yankees, with a rather routine, easy win over Cleveland in Game 5, will now get ready to pack it up and be in action tomorrow. We will, at some point tomorrow, we will preview the series. We'll squeeze one in and do that before the series starts. We want to put this in first, then we'll do something tomorrow that will be up before the games are played. And then, obviously, we'll be with you after the game tomorrow night, as we've been game after game, and we'll be throughout the ALCS. The Phillies and the Padres. And that's a very even series that's about to begin. I thought San Diego had a good chance. I thought Philly would win the first series against the Cardinals. I did not think they would beat the Braves. I thought the Padres were live, very live against the Dodgers. I told you that of the four, the one I thought was live was the Dodgers. Was the Padres playing the Dodgers. I was very impressed by the Padres in the Mets series. And I think the Padres I think the Philly bullpen scares me. And that's why I'm picking the Padres in the series, because I just think the Padres are a little more complete. Philly's got the lineup scoring a lot of runs right now, but they need to do that because I just don't trust their bullpen. And I think the Padres are going to the World Series. And I think they are they're a team that's got a lot of players. They really do. I mean, they went out and got players, and, they have some very good players in that lineup. There's no question. And they have, some very good pitching. And if Snell's on, they really have pitching. If he's on his game, then they really, really have pitching. And, I don't take anything away. And you got a wonderful game one matchup with Wheeler. And Wheeler's an old favorite of mine. Always was. Wonderful kid. Wonderful kid. Loved him. Really class act in every way. I'm always happy for him. A tough matchup with Yu Darvish, who's a real pro. So it should be a fun series. It should be a good series. It should be a long series, but I'm going to give the Padres the edge. And we'll talk about the Yankees and the Astros tomorrow. So the Yankees move on, which is what you really wanted to happen here, because you know what? Now we have another 10 days of drama here in October, and hopefully a trip to the World Series. But understand, it will be hard. It will not be easy to beat this team. This is a very, very talented team, and a very well-balanced and very, very solid team that the Yankees will see, as they know. A team that has, without question, broken their hearts on multiple occasions here. The Yankees owe this team, no question. And like I said, there's real dislike here. Not nonsense, not build-up, not hype. This is real. This is real between these two teams. This is something that has festered for years. And it should be an interesting show. It really should. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.